Now, welcome to another episode of our series. Now, in this episode, we're going to prepare the backend of the login page for the login and the registration form. So, the backend we're going to do it in node.js, that is in JavaScript, and we're going to use frameworks such as we're going to use Express framework for HTTP protocol transfers. So with that said, let us first do our first step, that is creating our backend directory. So we're going to create another directory inside the React file, that is the React file that we just created. So you're going to make directory that is going to be the backend directory. So the directory, you can see from the sidebar menu, it's already been created. So we're going to navigate to the backend directory where we're going to set up our server. So we're already inside the backend directory now. So what we need is set up our backend server. And to set up the node.js server, first we have to initialize the package modules that are going to be used for the backend. And to do that, we're going to use npm I install npm init. So the npm init is going to initialize the backend. So you can see what is it saying? The package name. The package name is login page. Yeah, and the version you can see as well. We can keep it as backend, or we can declare it as login. So we have changed the backend to login, and we can see the version of the node.js that you're using. The version that you're using is version 1. Description we can add, or we can leave them empty. For now, we're not going to add anything. We're not going to make any descriptions, so we're going to leave it that way. So another template that is going to be formed is the index.js. So the index.js can either be our root server, or we can rename it the way we've just renamed the backend, the package name. But for now, we can still stick with the index.js. Test command, we're going to leave it blank. We also have the Git repository that we're supposed to have created, and I'm going to show you how to set up a Git repository. But for now, we're going to leave it blank. Some of these we're going to leave them. Most of them are going to leave them blank. Is this okay? This is the package JSON that we have already created out of the initialization command that we just initiated here. So is this okay? Yes. So we have already created our backend, and we can check what is in the file. You can see the file has formed with a package JSON. So the package JSON is going to contain the packages that we're going to be using in our application. So there are other important packages that we're going to install first to set up our backend, and that is, we're going to use Express.js. That is a framework for backend, and it's used to help in transfer protocol, HTTP transfer protocols. So we're going to install the Express. You can see when we install, we're going to install, but installing, we're going to call the command npm install express. Yeah, So it's it's express npm install express. So this command is going to install express in our backend setup. You can see when you're installing, so it's supposed to create exactly, it's supposed to create the way it has created here. So this one is our express server, and there are also other packages that we need for our backend. So for us to keep our envs secure, we're going to create env.env. Those are some of the packages that are needed. Sorry, npm. I don't know why I'm leaving out .env. So we are going to install those, and the other many setups that we're going packages that we are going to need to set up our server. But you can see from our package JSON, you see the default template that is supposed to be receiving our receiving our main is the index.js, but we can change as well this one. We call it server.js. So the server.js is going to be our first template that we're going to create to be able to be able to receive any signal that is sent to our backend. So the server.js is going to host all the other important backend packages and services. So we can set up our server by importing first. We're going to import our express. Import express from express. Yeah. So this one is we're using there are usually two types of rather, when you get there, I will take you through. Sorry for that. And we can see we have used the express server, and we also have some other packages that we need to install. That is the database that we're going to be using, and the database that we're going to be using for this course, we're going to be using the MongoDB. So we're going to initialize installation of Mongoose. That is for MongoDB. Yeah. And with that installed, we're going as well to import the packages for Mongoose from Mongoose. Those are packages that this package will allow communication between the DB and the backend. We have the Mongoose. We can import as well the .env config. So the .env is a safety precaution measure that is used to when you're pushing your code to the GitHub and you don't want to expose your most sensitive links, such as the database links and any other password that you need to store them privately, you use the .env. Yeah, so with those installed, let us first create our express server. So to create the express server, we're going to use the const.app is equals to express, and the express that we're going to use is the express server that we will be using. So with the express server, now you can use the the const app as the middleware, and when you're using it as a middleware, you're going to have to use the use method. Use express .json to allow transportation between. .json is a function, rather it's a method. So app dot so those are very important. I don't know, maybe we're supposed to, should we use the cookies parser? Okay, I'm not so well, it's not a must for us to use the cookie, but let us try first and see how the backend is going to respond. So with that installed, the first thing that we're going to do is again we're going to as I've told you, the important files that you're going to store and the env files that you're going to store include even ports. So the port that we're going to use, we're going to use port 3001. Yeah. Let us see first. Let us first set up our server. So we're going to use the app, which is the Express server. Then we're going to expose the port, but we can import the port here as sorry, I needed to set up this. Well, so the Express server is going to be listening to port 3001, and then we can have a callback function, which is going to console log to show if the server is already up and running. Server running. This one is this log is to show if the server is running on this port that we just declared as port 3001. So the console, we're going to log the server, and we're going to log it as server running on port. Let us just put it that way, and I'm sure we will use our env later on when we are trying to deploy our the content or the new compile the version with the content overwrite. Okay, now the content is already saved, so let us try npm run. Let us try run the server. Run npm start. Yeah, let us see what is going to be here. How is okay? What is it saying? Server type not in the module package. Okay, so we used what do you call it? We used common.js for our server, and I don't want to use the old method, which is the common.js. I want us to use the ECMAScript for the latest version of the node of the Chrome engine. So we're going to declare them as, you see, it's telling us set type module. So the module that we're going to use is type. You can see you have common.js and module. So we're going to call it as module that is supported in ECMAScript 15 and above. So and the type module supports the import of modules as imports. You can see the way we have imported the import express from express. This format is supported in ECMAScript 15 and above, and when you're using the common JS, you don't use the import, you use the const, the declared const to import packages. Yeah, so we can see from the script we also have some of the scripts that we need for our development. So we have to set up our development server. So we're going to have the dev with which we're going to be using nodemon, and nodemon Mercury is used to ensure refresh of the server. Anytime the server refreshes, the server can be able to refresh itself without actually having to refresh your having to save your new code, the code that you just entered. Okay, you'll understand. I'll show you with an example. npm I nodemon. We need to install the nodemon, and also we need another command for build. Building is during the deployment. First we have to build, and building is used. I'll take you through building for those who do not know about the build command. So before you can deploy your system, you have first to build it, create another file out of it, and and install the necessary packages. So we're going to build, and the one that we're going to use to install to set up now is the start module. The start module is used during development. This one is the command that you're going to be using during our development. During our development means that every time we restart our server, we're going to be using this command, the nodemon, the start script function. So the start is going to be initialized in the server.js template. Yeah. So with that said, we have an error here. We have to put a comma, and first we save, override them. Then we can say npm. We can call the npm start command to start our server. We have another error. What does the error say? Okay. Throw error. Blah blah blah. Cannot find mongoose imported. So do we have mongoose in our packages? No, we do not. We do not have mongoose. So what we need is npm install mongoose. Mongoose is for MongoDB, and this is the URL that we're going to be using to set up the MongoDB. So I'll take you through how to set up a MongoDB in our next video. How to set a MongoDB, that is an unrelational database. So npm install mongoose is installing the MongoDB packages. You can see after the installation, the MongoDB has already reflected on our package JSON. So we're going to call the start command for development and see what it's going to be. It's very nice. Server running on port. This is the log that we called for this one. So the port, we have already created our server, and the command is telling us the server is running on port 3000. It's supposed to be port 3001. So the port 3001, you can see now when I save this one, when I save, it's supposed to because of the node mode, I don't know what is wrong, but it's supposed to restart the server and create this one, refresh the server on its development without restarting the server. So I think we have another error somewhere. Node one. What could be the problem? First things first. During development, we have nodemon server. I know where it's not. Okay, first let's restart the server and see how it's going to behave, because I don't know where it has freaked out. npm running on port. You see, now this is what I'm talking about. You see, we have to restart, we have to shut down the server for us to be able to use the nodemon. But with nodemon installed, which is only used for development, we can be able to save any changes that we make to our server. You can see we do not have the nodemon in our package JSON, so we need to install the nodemon. npm I install nodemon. Yeah, so let us say you can see this nodemon is already installed in our backend. So what are we going to do? We're going to start the server and see if we're going to be able to see the server running on the nodemon, which is supposed to for instance, we need to change. Maybe we say the port is running on port 3002, so it means something is not right somewhere. I don't know what is wrong. What's wrong? What could be the problem? Let me see. I don't know what is the problem, or am I not installing the right package? I don't know. Nodemon. Yes, I'm calling the nodemon, new nodemon. npm start on the server. Nodemon, let me see. Let me see, restart the server and see if there's going to be a difference. npm start. Very nice. You can see now the nodemon is already running on our server. So the server is already up. The server, we've confirmed everything on the server is up and well running. And let us see now, when you save your code, if it's going to update. You can see very nice, the nodemon. This is the functionalities of nodemon. But now nodemon is not of big as sense, because the nodemon is going to be used during development. In production, we don't need nodemon. So so with that said, and our server set up, let us meet in our next episode and take you through how to set up your different routes. That is the registration route, as well as the login route, as well as setting up MongoDB URL that is going to be used to store our backend information. I see you in the next episode. Please give a thumbs up to our channel to see more videos of this and more better videos that are coming your way.